I'm Terri Savelle, and I'm glad you're watching today. I want to talk to you about pay now, play later. You know, you could say it a different way. You could say play now, pay later. But either way, you're going to pay. But I recommend you get it done first. Let me explain what I mean by this. You know, years ago, I just started this habit where I never go to bed without planning the next day. Like ever. I can't even go to sleep without having my plan for the next day. Well, when I would take my little girl to bed, she was little bitty, like her whole little life. I would put her in bed, I'd sing to her, I'd pray with her, and then I'd tell her the plan for the next day. Well, we did this day after day. Well, one day, I put her in bed and I went to my room. All of a sudden, I heard her screaming, "Mama! Mama!" And I ran in there going, "Cass, what's the matter? Are you okay?" She said, "You forgot to tell me the plan." I thought, dear Lord, maybe I should just lighten up just a little bit. But there's a principle here, that when you plan your day, you're more productive. In fact, for exercise, if your plan is to start a routine of exercising in the morning, plan your day the night before. I always get my gym clothes out. I get my tennis shoes out. I have it already set. There's no excuses. Or if your plan is to try to eat healthier, plan your meal the night before. Go ahead and get it ready. Get it in the fridge so the next morning you just grab it and go. So, the thing is, like I said before, you're going to pay one way or the other. I recommend you tackle your priorities first. In fact, one of the top 5 habits of the most successful people in the world is they make their day top heavy. That's what they call it, make their day top heavy. What does that mean? Tackle your priorities first. Now, this goes far back as Mark Twain. In fact, Mark Twain had this statement. This is what he said. "Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen the rest of the day." Now, when I heard that, I'm like, I have no idea what that means. So Fast Company said, we've rephrased that statement to mean this. They said, do your biggest task first. When you start with the biggest task, the rest of the day looks pretty good. Well, years later, Brian Tracy wrote a book called Eat That Frog. That just means get it done over with. Then you can enjoy the rest of the day. That's why I exercise in the morning. That's why I read in the morning. I spend time with the Lord in the morning. I get those things done so there's no excuses. It's not hanging on my shoulders all day long. I know I got to read. I know I need to work out. No, get it over with. Then you can enjoy the rest of the day. But then also in the workplace, listen to this. 81% of the wealthiest people maintain a to-do list. 19% of the poor people. So that's a habit, that's a trait of successful people that would help you increase your productivity. Well, years ago, Andrew Carnegie, he hired this man to come into his company and teach them how to increase productivity. Well, this man came in, looked around at everything, then he took out a sheet of paper and he just wrote a couple things, handed it to Mr. Carnegie and said, "Pay me whatever you think my idea is worth." Well, the piece of paper simply said this. Every day, make a list of your top 5 priorities that you need to work on. He said, start your day at the top of the list. Do not move down the list until you complete number 1. When you finish number 1, move to number 2. Don't do anything else until it's done. Now pay me whatever you think my idea is worth. 2 weeks later, that man got a check from Mr. Carnegie for $10,000. Wow. Sounds pretty basic, doesn't it? But tackle your priorities first. In fact, Mary Kay Ash of Mary Kay Cosmetics, she said she attributed her success to the fact that every day she made a list of her 6 most important goals. She said if I didn't complete all 6, I would just carry it over to the next day. Well, the thing is, she was focused on her most important task of all. So what would happen if you did that? Think about Steve Jobs. He was running 2 billion-dollar companies at the same time. Well, he said that he would focus 3 hours a day on his number 1 priority. 3 hours a day. Well, you might think, well, that's not much. Or you might say, Terri, that's great. You've got this little plan, but I have so much to do. Well, the thing is, we're addicted to distractions. I read recently where research showed the average person is distracted every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes, just everything from checking your phone, checking emails, looking out there, how many likes did I get? How many people shared my post? How many followers do I have? Just constantly checking, social media and different things, addicted to distraction. Here's the sad thing. It takes 11 minutes to regain concentration. Well, they did research on, this was Fortune 500 companies they did research on. And what they found was they said the average CEO of Fortune 500 companies was spending time on productive activity 90 minutes a day. 90 minutes. Jack Welch said, nah, I doubt it's that much. Well, 2 years later, they did research, and what they found was the average CEO spends 28 minutes a day on productive activity. Think about that, 28 minutes. But they also found they're spending more time at the office, but less time on anything productive. So this is what they recommend in the workplace, in the business world. They call it sprint sessions. That's where you take 90 minutes and you focus on one thing, your most important task. Don't do anything else. That means you don't check your phone for 90 minutes. You don't even go potty for 90 minutes. Okay, you can go to the restroom, but you just are focused for 90 minutes. Here's the thing. You can triple your progress. So that means if you're in sales for 90 minutes, set the alarm on your phone, you make sales calls for 90 minutes. If your goal or your dream or your current job has to do with music, that means you're practicing your instrument 90 minutes. If God's put it on your heart to write a book, 90 minutes, you're writing that manuscript. If you're a minister, 90 minutes, you're researching, you're preparing your messages. So the key is you are going to triple your progress. Pay now, play later. I love this. Tony Robbins said, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently. Dolly Parton, very successful businesswoman and singer, she said, I will never complain for 1 second about what's expected of me given my position. She said, in Luke it says, to whom much is given, much is required. Well, let me just close out by saying, you've asked the Lord for some big dreams, some big goals. And it's going to require some big commitments from you. You can do this. Pay now, play later. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so I can keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thanks for watching.